Hello, everyone. Yeah, my first game jam is getting kind of close to that deadline. So, so basically the plan for today is we're gonna try and get as much done as we can. Because as of right now, it's not really looking like a complete game. We did make some good progress on the pixel art, but I really want to focus on more programming stuff for tonight. Yeah. So let's just dive right into it. So the big thing that I want to figure out is I want to try to finish up the drag and drop mechanics to get this kind of squared away first and foremost. So I think that's like the most important thing right now, is to get that straightened out. Just kind of noticed something. I wonder why it's yeah. So if I like go here to this item thing, it's got 2 copies of the script. I'm kind of curious why that is. Because that really shouldn't be there. I think that's yeah, that's a little odd actually. Yeah, okay, so let's try and figure out some of this stuff. Actually, let's we have a prefab of this item in here. So maybe what we'll do is we will, whoops, I'm selecting the item box there. Yeah, maybe we'll just get rid of that and then put our prefab in here. And then we'll just modify this. And that should be -10 for the default there. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering why this is in blue here. Oh, wait, I think I know. So okay, so let's straighten some of this stuff out. So first off, let's see where we're at right now. We should be able to just drag and drop this stuff. But it's kind of linked to that first square here. If we go like that, we have some problems. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at right now. So So let's work on that script. Okay, so we have ourselves this sort of stuff over here. So we just have to figure out what to do to make this work. So we this is where we were having some trouble last time. Okay, so what we wanted to do is we wanted to say that when we finish dragging, if we're over something that's a mouse handler, then we can release it there. So what else can we do here? Maybe so what is, whoops, oh, I just, okay, hold on a second. Okay, so we just need to figure out a way to get let's see. So we have to get type. Okay. So I'm looking through the different options here in a menu I can't really display on stream, but I think the one that I want is system.getType, and in here we will have a string mouse handler. So it looks like this get type, if you're, do I need this system here? Yes, I do. Okay, so it seems like what I need to do is, or it seems like how this works is, so this right here is getting the type of the game object that it hits. And this is getting the name, or it's getting the type from the system itself. So I think the only thing we need to do is we have to make sure it actually exists. So hi, Domino. I didn't realize I was paying my cat tax so early tonight. Honey. He's been hanging out a lot down here. Okay, so first it'll check to see if it's actually an object that it hits. So that has to happen, and then should get the type, and if that type is a mouse handler. And did I? Okay, I thought I might have used that sort of thing somewhere along the line. So if it's a mouse handler, then we want it to move it to previous position. Wait, hold on a sec. So we want to switch these actually. So we want to move this up here, and we want to move these down here. So what this is going to do is it's going to, if it's not null, so if the object exists and that object that the ray cast hits when the drag is ending is in fact a mouse handler, then okay, so I think what we want to do is actually let's make a new thing up here. So let's say we want what do we want? Okay, so let's say we have a mouse handler. New box, we'll say. And we don't know what that is yet. So we'll say basically what we want to do is we want to do a little switcheroo type thing. So okay, so I think what we want to do is we want to kind of separate these. So these are going to be for the menu box. Menu box properties, and then these are going to be the item properties. And let's even put, let's make it consistent here. these all together. So where do we use this? Hey Poochzors. What is a good way to get stuff done? Me sitting here saying pointless nonsense to distract you. Well, if by getting stuff done you mean like chatting, then yeah, I'll be getting a lot of stuff done. But yeah, actually I think I'm making pretty good progress already tonight, because last time I wasn't sure exactly how to get this this stuff done, and I think I figured it out. I just need to find the right command to use. Yeah, it's the shirt. So I had usually, last couple of times actually, I've been just in my pajamas actually streaming. So I'm a little more professional today. I'm either ready to teach a math lecture or go for a picnic. Or teach a math lecture at a picnic. That could be fun. Yeah. It's yeah, your comment reminds me about that one time I fractured my tailbone. That was a real pain in the butt. It also is a really good excuse for me to say it was a pain in the butt. I know of Planck's constant. Okay, so we got these things. So what we wanted to do a little switcheroo here. So I made this new box thing. I like how I didn't even consider the fact that you could have stolen the chair. Yeah, it's Planck's constant is more of a science thing than a math thing, but you know, it's a constant, so therefore it's math. It's like just a specific number that makes things work. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I guess maybe we can put this in here. Unless we need it outside there. So mouse handler new box. We'll say equals whoops. That is not the button I needed. Well, I'm not really handling the mouse, I'm handling the mouse handler. So, I don't know. Can't think of a really good joke for that, other than like a little bit of wordplay. I think here we need to do a type conversion to oh, I think I see here. We might need that, but I don't know. So we need to get component. Yes, mouse handler. Hooray! This is not assembly, this is C#, which is actually really nice. It's kind of like, it's really similar to Java, which I already have a lot of experience in, so that makes it a little bit easier. I actually have never programmed in assembly, but I think it would be pretty cool to learn, just because, like, all the old video games were kind of programmed in that, to my knowledge anyways. So if you know assembly, you could make ROM hacks, for example, like from scratch. I know they have kind of tools depending on the game nowadays. All right. Less than ideal? Yeah, I don't know much about assembly, but C# I know is a very new programming language, compared to some other languages that there are out there. So it's got a lot more convenience to it. That's interesting. I don't think that's really hacking, because hacking is like you're taking something that already exists and either inserting code or modifying it in some way. So if you're not, if you're just programming it from scratch, it's not really hacking there. Oh yeah, Hello World's like the very first thing. It's like a tradition, like the very first program you're supposed to make is one that just says like, "Hello World." So that's kind of cool there. Okay, so we get the new box. We'll say new box. Yeah, maybe that phrasing wasn't the best, like, because if you're doing a ROM hack from, well, basically what I meant was, like, you could, because sometimes, depending on the game, people will have developed tools to make the creation of ROM hacks a little bit easier, and so what I was thinking was, if they didn't have that, you could make a ROM hack from scratch, which I guess would that fall under hacking? Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. I haven't taken a computer ethics class yet, so. But, anyways, we want to do this switcheroo, so we'll just have new box. Okay, so we need to change these. So we have the item, the target location, and sprite renderer. Oops. Oh, okay. So we'll say the item equals this dot the item, and we'll say new box dot what do we need? We need yeah, so we'll say target location. So actually we want this and then lastly we want, what was the last thing? Sprite renderer. Okay, so this is kind of a, you know, a little bit of a janky way to do this, but so what we want to do is we want to take these and just delete them basically from our one. So we don't want new box here. We want I can already see a problem actually with this, what I'm doing, because what's going to happen when we drag an object onto another object. So I think what we'll do is we will do a test. So if new box dot the item is null, yeah, I just gotta maybe I can just dupe it and then it'll unjank it. So if it's not, so if it is null, then no object exists. So we can just take these and put it in there. Oops. So basically, if nothing is in there, then it should be just a matter of putting it into the box and erasing the erasing these references on our end. So then we also want to do, so this is going to put the references into the, into the new box, remove the references from the original box it was moving from, and make sure to snap the snap it to the appropriate location. So if there does exist an object in there, though, then we have to modify some stuff. And by modifying, I mean we're going to start off by just copying and pasting this exactly into here, but we're going to do some stuff in between. Okay, so then let's say okay, I know what to do. So we want yeah, let's just call this temp item. So, okay, so basically, in order for us to switch them, we need a third one as like an intermediary. Because let's say we just had the two boxes that each had an item. If we got to this line here, where the new box the item gets set to, or the reference gets set to that object, then after that line's executed, they'll both have the reference to the first object and nothing will have the reference to the second object or item. So we need to keep references stored. So let's say and then we'll have a transform temp target location. And then we will have a temp sprite renderer. Okay, so now we have two references to the new box's items. One of them's in the temporary one of them's in the actual new box, or the box we're ending the drag on. So we have two copies of the new box ones. Then the new box gets its references updated to the first box's locations. So now we have two references to the first box and one reference to the second box. And the last thing we need to do is we need to set the references for the first box to be what was in the second box. So this is just going to be temp item. This is going to be temp TL, and this is going to be temp SR. So now, when we go through this, they should have both of them switched because, like I said, there's two references to the new box. One of them's in storage, we'll say, in temporary holding. Then we have new box gets sent to, or the old box's location and all that stuff is being sent to the new one. So then both the ones that we care about have the first object's items, and the second one is being stored, and then the second one is being taken out of storage and put into the first one where we want it to be. Then we set the location of okay, so then we set the location of that object for the new box. And then we also want we probably need to there's a language that an acquaintance of yours knew. His parents said it's used in old banking software, and mostly only older people know it. So that on top of bank finance management, he gets paid a lot. Oh, that's pretty cool. Banks don't want to change because it'll take them. Yeah, it's gonna take. Anytime you have a massive infrastructure, it's gonna be a little while before things really really change. It's gonna take so many resources to change such a large infrastructure, especially when it's something that people rely on, like banks. If you wanted to, I mean, that seems like an opportunity for, if you're willing to put in a lot of work to learn that language, you can make a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know every programming language. There's actually very few that I know how to code in, but I know of a lot of different programming languages and stuff. All right, we have to do a little switcheroo here. Oh, wait, hold on. Previous position. Where did we use that? Aha! This is gonna save us some time. I know some programming languages are C, C++, C#. Those are the three I know that begin with C. So we already have previous position. So really all we have to do is set our new target location to be, yeah, so our new target location dot position equals previous position. Boom. Okay, so this is setting the new position of the first object. This is setting the new position of the previous object. I think so. This is not something that's really needed. So we can just kind of bring this to the outside and then delete it here to save a little bit of space. So let's label these a little bit, because I feel like the more complicated this stuff is, the easier it is to get lost trying to fix stuff. So let's make some comments. All right. Comments are important when coding. want to set the new boxes. Remove old boxes references. Oh, COBOL. Yeah, that's right. I don't think Cobalt is a language, but COBOL is. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I could see that being... Like, that's an old programming language. A programming language so old it's using like old English. That would be kind of funny, actually. Oh. Whoops. I think it was yeah, sorry about that. It looked like the chatbot thought it was it interpreted that as a link. Yeah, I don't have links allowed in my chat, but I know what you were trying to say there. And it was pretty funny. Okay, so then we have second box gains. Yeah, there's there's some scary stuff to be said about websites taking a little too much personal information from their users. So I try and keep a little bit of an eye on that. Whoops, that wasn't a comment. So this is going to set the new swapped items location. And this is going to set the there we go. Okay. What would you like to... I'd prefer if you were a little more vague, just because I do plan to upload this to YouTube at some point, so as like archived footage. So I don't want like personal stuff from you to be displayed out to the world, essentially. So if you want to be vague, go for it, but I just wanted to let you know that if you're talking about some personal stuff, then maybe it would be best to leave it a little vaguer, because I don't want a situation to happen where you talk about kind of, that sort of stuff, and then it's kind of displayed for everyone to see. Yeah, that's sorry. This is why I wanted to do a little disclaimer for you before you said anything. So sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of things before. Actually, it's kind of ironic about, talking about all, people collecting personal information, and then, then just kind of, having this situation where you have kind of like a private thing, you don't want it to... There was a good way I was going to phrase that. I just think it's a little ironic there. Okay, yeah, just probably be a little careful with your words, I guess. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. So that's something I'm kind of concerned about too, like, having like voice recorded and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's illegal, or it should be, but I'm not sure how that but that sort of stuff happens to me all the time. Like I'll mention something in conversation, and then I'll see ads for it online, and I'm not really sure if it's just the fact that I'm not sure if it's really just like them predicting I might want something like that, or them actually listening to, I say like them in the vaguest way possible. I'm not sure if it's just that, or if it's just them actually listening to private conversations, but either way, it kind of weirds me out. Yeah, if there's... Yeah, that's a little concerning, but I'm not sure if there's anything that that really you could... on the one hand, I understand, like, it's used for... If this is what's happening, it would probably be just for advertising purposes, but it's still, like, kind of... It weirds me out a little too much. But I try my best not to worry about things I don't have control over. Everyone having their own personal FBI agent. That would be kind of interesting, because wouldn't FBI agents have their own FBI agents? And if every FBI agent has their own individual FBI agent, does that mean the FBI is spying on themselves? Does that mean everyone's an FBI agent? Like, everyone's just spying on other people? No, I know it's like... There's a fine edge between, like, conspiracy theories and being, like, legitimately worried about the, these things that are actually, like, a little more plausible than you might think. And I agree it's kind of related to the you know, to the topic at hand here. But I think this should be good. I want to test this out. Do we... Oh, I wanted to see, do I need to set the item is equal to null there? So where is this being used in here? This does... Okay, this does not need to be set to null at all. There's no reason that should be set to null. So basically, if the reference is null, or if it's not a mouse handler, it should just snap back to its previous position. No references should be changed. So let's save this and test it out. So let's bring us all the way up to the top here. All right, and let's take a sprite. Let's make let's make that a plate. Okay, so our first, all right, let's see if this does what we want it to do. So the first thing I want to test is if it'll snap back properly if I drag and drop this outside here. Okay, that's good. No errors. Even if it's off screen, that's good. If I bring this over to another thing. Uh-oh. Okay. What if it's... Okay, well, part of it's working. Alright, let's do some debugging. Let's go back into our code. So it's not seeing... Pointer current raycast is null. I'm going to comment the rest of that out. Actually, before I do that, we'll say debug .log. Okay. And then we'll have that. And then we could say if it doesn't, so we could have debug Okay. Save that. Just doing some debugging here. No box detected. Ooh, I know exactly what happened actually. I have to remember to do this. So, mouse handler. I have to connect these into there. Okay. So it's still not detecting the box there. We can move the plate around. Why isn't it detecting anything? Well, we still made a little progress, so let's save. Let's go up to Visual Studio. Let's see. So it's always triggering this. So maybe it's with the condition. So what happens if we just leave off that first one, that first condition? Okay, that didn't really change anything. Oh. Maybe what we want is actually to see if it has a mouse handler component instead. So maybe what we'll do is pointer current raycast dot game object get component. Okay, so if we get a component, So basically we want to say if this is not equal to null, then it exists. Yeah, okay. Maybe this should be a little easier. Okay, I think all right, let's try this out. And then maybe we'll clean up some of that code if it works. So that's still working fine. It's not detecting a box. Okay, so it's still not detecting anything. All right, that's kind of odd. Let's do some more debugging. So if it is null, then we say no box detected. If it's not, then the object exists, and we could say what do we want to say? Say no mouse handler. Okay, so save that. Go back to Unity, test it out. Let's see what message we get. Oh. So it's detecting an object, it's just not detecting a mouse handler. So maybe it has something to do with what we have for these. So maybe it's just, oh, okay. I think we need to do a little more testing, a little more debugging. So we want to see what it's actually hitting. So this is going to print the name of what it's hitting, in addition to that other stuff. Okay. Let's go. Background canvas. Item box 3. Okay, so it is still okay. All right, I think we're making progress. We just have to. So obviously the background canvas is fine to not have it on, and item box 69 should have a mouse handler though. So why is that not showing us the mouse handler? Turns the component. Okay. Ooh, I figured it out. Fixed. Oh, classes don't have spaces in between. Wow. That should... I can almost guarantee you that's going to fix the issue. See? It's fixed. Now... And it swaps. Look at that. So we spent how long trying to fix that error when it was just a space? Ay. Good news is, this is like a really big chunk of the stuff that I needed to figure out, which is great. So that's awesome. So let's do a celebratory Control S, save that progress, and we will, yeah, so let's get some water in my system. Okay, so that's good. What what can we do to make this code a little bit easier so we don't, or better to work with. So let's say so let's say we're just going to kind of make it a little bit easier to work with here. So we're just gonna do that. Array result there. Make it a little easier. Yeah, we don't need that. We're not making it null. Let's move this up here, because that order is not really going to matter. This is just for debugging. So I think the big thing about using these two different get component things is, I think the way that this one works is it forces it to be a mouse handler rather than this one up here, it's forcing it to be a component. So that's good there. All right. So I think it's pretty good. All right. So I was expecting that to take a little bit longer than it did. So we have to come up with a plan for what to do next. Okay, so do we need any of this stuff? Probably not. Let me open some stuff here. Okay, I think let's make a to-do list. Things that we need to do. So we need to, let's do some for programming. So one thing we need to do is, so we have the drag and drop, which is good, but we also need to be able to, okay, so one thing we need to do is display larger image of dish interaction with larger dish. We need to figure out a point system we need to, what else? Dirty dish spawning, because there's gonna need to have a flow of dishes coming in. What else? And we need... I guess we need to do the tool system for the different scrubbers. And depositing empty dish. That doesn't make much sense. Depositing finished dishes. Okay, so what should we work on next? Oh, we also need the priority system. We need displaying finished dishes with the score. All right, so I think that's the programming stuff. At least some stuff we can do right now. So then we have a little more pixel art we'll need to do. Oh, we also need, we'll call it level timer, to time the level. Let's start with this first one. Let's see if we can display a larger image of the dish in a specific location. So let's say we're going to need a new object for that. So let's call this large dish. And what is this? So let's say this is going to be okay. So let's have this be at Let's make this 4 times the scale. Oops, I just realized I didn't close that properly. So we're going to, if that happens, feel free to let me know. I'm kind of bad about switching things over. So that's going to be that, and we are going to move this over a smidge more. Actually, maybe we'll make that 3 and 3. And we will inch it over. Whoops. Somewhere like there. Actually, let's take all of these. Oh, no. So I think we'll do that. And then this, actually, yeah, we want this to have a grid too. Okay, so have this. We should have Box Collider 2D as well. Alright, so this should have Box Collider 2D on it, so we can interact with it later. What is this? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so ideally, that should be pretty good for the radius, because it wants to be kind of like in a circular region. Maybe if it's just something like that. If we look at the biggest sprites that we have, so what happens if we just, so that works there. It works really well there. Kind of just testing it out to see what it looks like for the different ones there. Little mug. Okay. Not too bad there. Okay. So let's make yeah, okay. So let's see what we can do here. So that's our box collider 2D. What else? So we need to have a script for this. So we will call this so it'll take a little bit to get that in, I believe. Yeah. Put that in our scripts folder. All right. So let's take a look at some things we're going to need here. What do we need? What do we need? Okay, so we don't need to worry about transform. Well, maybe we do. Okay. So let's have public transform. Dish location. Gotta be careful not to dislocate your shoulder or anything. Then we will have public sprite renderer. Hey, Domino. Coming to say hi? Or you just want me to pet you? No, you just want me to pet you. Hi. Okay. So we want that, and then we want dish sprite renderer. We don't even need to worry about the grid. Box Collider 2D, and we will call this dish collider. Okay, so this is for currently selected dish. Okay, and then we need some stuff for the actual object itself. So if we're selecting a dish, then we need to make sure that it's being used properly, so that if we like click somewhere and it's yeah, so if we click on a dish, it should be able to have the stuff showing on there, essentially. So we currently displayed dish, and then we could have the box information. So you could have public mouse handler item box. And what else do we need? We need maybe we should make that private. We don't want anything else to access it, really. Well, we'll do that for now. And we'll have public item. Current dish. Okay. So we're going to need some mouse behavior eventually, but for now, let's save that. And what we'll do is we will also actually, let me put that back up. So we'll go into the mouse handler we'll make a new reference. So we will have public large dish, zoomed dish, and then we will say private boolean no, this should be public too. Right? Oh, actually, nope, we don't need that. Okay, so let's take a look back over here. So basically, what we should be doing is we'll take item box, kind of minimize the grid. And we have large dish. So maybe we'll move this up here, make it a little easier. So these should all have references to that dish. So we just gotta kind of connect everything here. Alright. Okay, so these are all linked to this object now. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so let's go to this. Let's go to the large dish. And do we want to do? Oh, okay. So when we okay. All right. So we want to do something on the pointer click. So let's say that we will have, oh, actually, maybe that's a little too much information there. So we want to have the large dish, so the zoomed dish. And we want to change the sprite renderer. So we want dot dish sr. Dot sprite is going to equal well, hold on. So is this what we want? Yeah, I think this is what we want. So we want that sprite to equal the item SR dot sprite. Okay, so hypothetically, when I click on something, the sprite for the large dish is going to be a zoomed in version of the one that's selected there. Okay. Save that. And let's run it. Whoops. Did I make a mistake here? I think I did. Yeah. Okay. So I never set these. Okay. So, looking pretty nice. You can switch between them. Cool, and it's still zoomed in. That's what I was hoping for. All right, so that's good. Working a little bit better there. In fact, let's save it. Save our progress. So, okay, so it's displaying the box, or not the box, it's displaying the zoomed in version of the sprite based on the mouse input from there. And we might, yeah, okay. So, for the large dish, oh, okay. I think I know what we need to do next. So I want to make it so that the box stays highlighted when you click it. So I think that's going to conflict with some of this stuff. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to copy that, bring this to the beginning of the drag. So it looks like I've already done actually. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So we'll do that. It's dragging, and then on the end of the drag, we will release it. So let's just see if that works first. So it is working there. So we are getting some errors here with target location. Oh. I see. Okay. So maybe what happens if we just bring this there? Okay, so that should take care of that. And then if that's not equal to null, and then oh, I already have that in there. Yeah, so that's right there. Maybe I'll put that in on its own line so I can pay more attention to that. So we'll say if target location not equal to null, then we do all this. Is there I wonder if there's a way to fix the indents really easily. I really don't want to indent all of those. Okay, that's fine. I know there must be an easier way for these, but I don't know what it is right now. Oops. Almost there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that a little bit easier next time. Okay, so should be good now. Let's try it out. Alright, so it seems good. We just need to do a little more kind of editing so that there's like a green outline there. So what did we do? On pointer click. So we'll say if items sprite renderer is so if it exists, then we have that. Otherwise, we will set this to null. And then we will say yeah, so that should fix the exceptions. I don't have any doubts about that. But now what we need to do is we need to set up the reference to the box. So let's say changes the sprite, sets up the reference. So we'll say dot, what do we want? Item box equals this. And we can say what else? Let's set up the reference when we do this as well. So we'll say zoomed dish dot current dish equals the item. And actually this can just go like right over here. So it sets up the reference to this particular one and the item there. What else do we need? There. Oh, we need to show that it's highlighted. So let's say what did we when we started the drag, we set it to a selected menu. So okay. I think that's all we need to do for this right now. And then for this one, oh, no. What we need to do a little bit more here. So this is going to set the sprite to be selected for this object, but we also want zoomed dish dot what do we want? Oh, item box dot is that what we want? box sprite renderer dot sprite equals, what do we want that to be? Empty menu. Okay, so this is going to, let's do some comments here. Sets sprites for menu boxes. Attaches menu box and dish to large dish sets sprite for large dish. I think that's good. So I think one last thing we'll do we'll set the sprite to be none to begin with. Okay, let's see if this works. Interesting. Uh-oh. Okay, well that's the problem. So what was going on here? Maybe we have to do a little if statement here. So if maybe, I think that should fix the issue. We'll see. Okay, so still good, but we need to tweak it a little bit. So if we're clicking on itself, we don't want it to change. So let's just tweak this and also want, as long as it's not this. Okay, nice. This is coming along pretty well. Ooh, that's something we have to think about. If we like move that over there. Okay. So we need to fix that a little bit. So the problem is when we end a drag, it's going to drag it into, it's going to move the object, but it's not updating the reference. Okay, so you know, this is still good enough to save. So I'll save that there. Let's make a method here, actually, because we're going to be using this a little bit. Maybe. I think it's getting to maybe be that point in the night where maybe I should start thinking about ending the stream. So maybe we can... Maybe we can make a prefab out of this or something sometime soon. Once we get this going, we can do it for the other two ones that we need. But maybe that's something we can do for next time, because it's starting to get a little late, and I think that I won't be able to... Excuse me. I don't think I'm going to be able to make too much progress right now from where we're at. But I think this is a good point to end off on. I mean, we got a lot done. We got the drag and drop. We could select the object. Ooh, that's another bug. Need to think about. So that's something to consider. We can swap items, which is cool. And we can't swap it in reverse. I never even thought about doing that, but it's good to know that it doesn't work out that way. Okay, so I think we're going to end off the stream here because yeah, like I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make too much progress with this, but this is very encouraging. I think that once I get that sort of stuff figured out, getting the main systems going, excuse me, it shouldn't be too hard to get some of the other stuff rolling as well. I know we got less than a week to wrap this up, but hopefully we can kind of find the time to make it work. So anyways, hopefully I should be streaming tomorrow. We'll see how things go, and I guess the goal for that is to try and finish up displaying the larger dish, and then maybe trying to implement some of the properties for the dishes, like if they're dirty or not, and we'll kind of go from there. So I will see you guys next time. Take care.